Hi people, just letting you get an insight into some of my more everyday mundane jobs. What have we got here? It is a hot point oven extractor, cooker hood if you like. It's got a nice little electronic control box which has quit. It's available as a spare part. It's £95, which is ridiculous for a board that has probably £5 worth of components on it at the very most. I've repaired this before and the repair hasn't lasted, so what I'm going to do now is scrap all this electronic control, convert the hob to manual control and reinstall it. It's my own, it goes back in my house. But unfortunately today I won't be doing that. What I will be doing today is digging around in my mother's garden looking for a septic tank that is full and blocked, and it's not a nice day really for that, if there is ever such a thing as a nice day for doing that. Cheers guys, catch you later. Hi chaps, it's me again in the workshop. Do you ever have one of those weeks when the whole world turns to poop? Literally poop in this case. I lost Monday again because we had a hospital appointment for my wife in Bridlington, so we went to that. Tuesday my mother rang and said my freezer's packed up, so all my food is going off, and while you're at it my drains are blocked up. So dutiful son goes up there on the Tuesday, starts to rod the drains out, realises that there's no chance of rodding the drains out because they're completely blocked, and calls in the experts with the Dynarod equipment, which we're still waiting for this morning. This is Friday morning. Whilst I'm at mother's trying to rod the drains out, the wife rings me and says, "Oh, just to make your day complete, the stair lift has quit." So I get back, get in touch with the stair lift people, who are people who supply me with spare parts. This stair lift is called a Liftable Cumbria. It was made in the northeast of England. It's very well made, but the problem is now that the company no longer exists, you can get the spare parts, but nobody is willing to come out and work on them. So you end up with people say, "Oh no mate, that's not our area," or "Oh no mate, we don't do liftable Cumbria." So there you go. So here we have on the bench the carriage, which is the bit that the seat fits on top of, from the liftable Cumbria. This is an electronically controlled, virtually a lift motor. I'll just have to answer this phone. So as I was saying, this is the carriage of the liftable Cumbria stair lift. As far as I can see at the moment, it's an AC capacitor start, capacitor run motor, which is controlled by a PCB card which sits up here. And the problem I've been having is that the PCB card blows the main fuse, and it seems to run okay for months and then the main fuse blows. And I replaced the fuse and off it goes again, and then it starts to blow fuses every 4 or 5 days, and it gradually gets worse until the main PCB quits. When the main PCB quits, it's 175 quid plus VAT for a new one. So I'd like to get to the bottom of why it's quitting. So what I'm going to do now is strip this down, and I'll get back to you when I've got it in bits. Right chaps, here it is all back together. and I find no fault with him. I mean, I'm replacing the starting capacitors anyway, but the wiring, the mechanism, the gears, the bearings, the motor is all in A1 condition. I can see no problem with it at all. So I really am going to have to hope that it is the condensers or the long trailing cable, or possibly the circuit board, but it's usually the condensers, I'm saying condensers again, capacitors, it's usually the capacitors or the long trailing cable that actually damages the circuit board. And whilst you've been away and I've been working on this, we've had a visitor, and the visitor has brought me some more pieces for the bicycle project, the three-wheeler bicycle project. Some wheels, some forks, various bits of metal. So that's moved forward a pace. Unfortunately, he's also brought me 2 strimmers to repair, so I don't thank him for that at all, but there you go, strimmers are what they are. They can be a pig to repair. And over here, he's brought me yet more gifts. Some fire iron sets, which need things swapping about. These handles onto this set of fire irons, and that shovel blade onto this handle. So it's a bit of blacksmithing, a bit of messing about. The fire's going, it's quite cold and damp actually, it's wet, it's nasty outside, wet. And in a moment I'm going to play drains with my brother. So I'll probably add some more to this, but I think for now that's about it. I've got very little done. I've got nothing more done to the welder. I've got nothing done to the tractor. I've got nothing more done to the motor, apart from the fact that I think I've sourced some anhydrous isopropyl alcohol to wash it out with. Anhydrous just means it's got no water in it. Most isopropyls are about 50–60% water, whereas anhydrous is 98% pure. It's got only 1 or 2% water in it. Okay. Oh look, there's my wonderful Evo 8. Another one of my favourite tools. Right, I'll catch you later. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, and I may add some more to the end of this, I may not. See you later, chaps. Right, chaps, well, as you may gather, my week turned to poop in more ways than one. I've got nothing done in the workshop. I've hardly been to the workshop. I've been mainly working on repairing the stair lift, which is now done, thank goodness. And although I'm happy that I've found the fault and it won't happen again, I just thought I'd give you a bit of an insight into what goes on with it. This is the PCB that controls the lift table Cumbria stair lift. It's a pretty ordinary up-down controller with a bunch of relays here, which starts the motor forward or reverse. It's got an automatic stop at the bottom, an automatic stop at the top. There's an overspeed, there's a speed limiter in it, and it's basically just an ordinary electronic process controller. But when I got the new one, I was able to go over this with the Evo 8, comparing the new one with the old ones, and I've found that I have 2 old ones, and the fault on both of the old controllers is the same. Some of these relays have welded their contacts closed, and when you look at which relay it is, it's the same on both boards. It looks like the start relay for the down direction is jammed in the normally closed position where it should actually be normally open. So as soon as you apply power to the board, it blows the fuse because it's trying to start the motor in the down direction with still having the brake on. There's an electronic brake on it as well. So there's the fault, and you can imagine that a fault like that could be caused by an intermittent fault in the cable which feeds the power to this board, and you can imagine that if it failed and arced, it would cause the contacts in the relays to weld together. So that's my diagnosis up to this point. I've replaced the trailing cable. I haven't checked the trailing cable for faults, but we have noticed that the stair lift always fails at the top, never at the bottom. And it would make sense that the where the trailing cable loops round its weighted pulley in the bottom of the rack is where you would expect it to develop a fault. There you go. So I may see if I can get some of these relays and replace them and see if we can mend these boards. It's always the same with a board with a load of electronics on it. You always assume that it's something clever in the electronics. I've been caught out by this time and time again. It usually isn't something in the electronics, and if it is, it's pretty obvious because things blow up. You're far more likely to get faults in things like relays unless there's a visible fault on the board. So this has caught me out, but it hasn't caught me out this time. Right, I just started to fill in for my lack of videos this week. I just thought I'd tell you a bit about myself. I'm 67 years old. I've been in electrical and mechanical engineering all my life, and I got into YouTube by watching loads and loads of different people. Keith Venner, A-Bomb79, Joe Piezinski is very good, Brian Block, but also some of the British people who are posting good stuff, and especially John Double Boost, who is one of my favourites, who I watch religiously every Sunday night, and I was really pleased to get a like from John Double Boost last week, so there you go. I live in rural East Yorkshire. It's very nice, it's very unpolluted, it's very quiet, it's very crime free, and generally speaking, I just really enjoy tinkering. I really enjoy repairing things. Mending things is my reason for existing. So there you go. Just one more thing. On the video that I've posted on the slideshow, there are several still photos which I haven't quite worked out why they are still, because they are supposed to be short video clips as I strip the unit down and put it back together again. I'm sorry about that. I'll work on it and see what's caused it. But that's all for now, chaps. I'm almost up to 50 subscribers, so to all the people who've subscribed and all the people who've liked and commented, thanks very much. Have a watch at this. You already watched it because I'm going to put this in the end. Please like and subscribe if you like it, right? No obligations. Thanks guys, bye.